I could hear music on YouTube.
Okay.
So we can let him know that we can hear him.
Yeah, we can hear you, Commissioner, through my iPad. So if you have any questions, you feel free to ask away.
Are we live streaming already, Sergio? I can't hear.
Yes.
Okay, you're live on YouTube now.
No, I can only hear through the cell phone.
Okay, so we're live already, Paul. So whenever you're ready to get started.
Okay, this is Paul Durant. I'm the Vice President of the 4B Board, substituting today for Jesse. It is April 9th. It's about 2:07 p.m. So this is a duly posted meeting for 2 p.m. We're live streaming today because of the coronavirus. I'd like to call the meeting to order.
Your first item will be citizens communication.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. I'm sorry, Dan, I'm on my other laptop looking at that. So after calling the meeting to order, we have item number 1 is citizen communication. We're looking at the approval of minutes of the March 27, 2019. That's the special joint city commission and the type and the 4B board meeting. Also of September 25th, 2019. And also the special joint city commission and 4B board meeting of October 23rd, 2019.
Mr. Vice Chair, President, Vice Chair, if I can intervene really quick. Myra, did we receive any citizens communication in writing or otherwise?
No, sir, we didn't.
For the record, none were received.
No.
And then now we have item number 1, the approval of the minutes.
And Mr. Vice Chair, we're going to ask that you table October 23rd minutes because there was a typo. It should have been August 23rd, not October. So you're free to approve the other 2, and that one we'll just bring back later to the board.
Okay, so we have the March 27th and the September 25th of 2019.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes with the adjustments that was noted.
Okay, do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, we have the meeting of those 2 dates approved. Thank you. Moving on to number 2. Item number 2 today, consideration and possible action to approve the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I'm going to pass it over to our Finance Director, Robert Rodriguez. Robert will have a short presentation on the financials, and this is an action item.
Good afternoon, board members, commissioners, city manager, and staff members. I will be presenting the financial statements for the 6 months ended March 31st, as of March 31st, and the 6 months ended March 31st. Let me get the presentation out here. Can everybody see the balance sheet financial statements?
Yep, just came up.
Okay. So as of March 31st, 2020, HCIB has cash and cash equivalents of $7,132,117, which compose all of its assets as of March 31st, 2020. We do have a liability for retained payable of $54,848, leaving a net fund balance of $7,077,269. So the majority of that fund balance is composed of cash. So does that mean that whole cash balance is available? Not really. So I heard a little, if you can see that little reconciliation there on the screen. So if you have $7.1 million in cash and you have a retainage, that's a retainage and other projects that have been budgeted, you have $956,000 in unallocated projects. Convention center budgeted $20,000, convention center debt service of $606,000, and the destination park of $2.5 million.
Robert, I think you need to go to your next screen.
Oh, are you not able to see that?
No, we're seeing the very first sheet that you had.
Okay, let me share that. Let me share this.
If you can share the second one, please. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. I'm trying to figure out how to share that second screen.
I think you have to drop this one and pick up the other one.
Can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So if you see at the very top, you have cash and cash equivalents off of the balance sheet of 7,132,117. So if you subtract all of the unavailable funds for retainage of 54,000, amounts budgeted for unallocated projects of 956,000, convention center 20,000, debt service for the convention center of 606,000, and the Lansing Hill Destination Park of 2,576,000. Your 4,214,000. So really, your available funds of that cash are only $2.9 million. So we can go to see how we got to the
Robert, what is the retainage fund 316?
that retainage is a retainage payable for some for fund to due to 316 for construction. I can see, but that is due to fund 316. So retainage is when they have construction and they have like a 5% retainage until the project is reviewed and we're satisfied with it. So then we release that 54,000.
So that's probably from a prior construction project, John, where we're still holding on to a retainage, but it's allocated to that particular project. And that'll be paid out over time.
It's a convention center, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is.
Yes, sir, Dan?
Yes, on the Lansing Hill Destination Park, is that the total commitment of all the projects, or just
That is the amount that is the amount that was budgeted for 2020. I'll go to the financial statement and I'll show you guys.
So I'll answer your question, Mr. Araiza. That is the amount allocated by the 4B. If you'll recall, we also received $1 million from Parks and Wildlife that was included on the project, because the bid, I believe, was 3.3 million. And but as far as what the 4B has allocated for the destination park, that is the amount allocated for the park.
Yeah, just that.
That is correct. So so on the statement of revenues and expenditures and changes in fund balance for the period of March 31st, 2020, we received sales tax totaling $667,599 and interest of $33,915, bringing in revenues of $701,513. In the current year, we had expenditures for the Lansing Hill Destination Park of $491,344. And we have encumbered $1.9 million, and that's where the $2.5 million comes in. So revenues of 701 less expenditures of 491 bring us to net revenues over expenditures of 210,000, plus prior year's fund balance of $6.8 million brings us down to that fund balance of $7,077,000. We'll see right here, that's the fund balance. So as I said, yes, you have $7.1 million in fund balance, but only a portion of that is available for spending, since some of that has been committed.
And we are, for the benefit of the board, I've been working with Robert. We're running projections on revenues for the remainder of this fiscal year. And the impact COVID-19 is having on sales and sales tax. And so we are still working those numbers, but there will be a definite impact on the revenue moving forward for the remainder of this year, and possibly the remainder of the calendar year as well. So once we have a number that we're comfortable with, we'll call another meeting to bring the board up to speed on where we think we're going to be at the end of the fiscal year.
That is correct for bringing that up. So, and along with the decrease in sales tax, we also will continue to have the debt service of approximately $606,000 annually for the next several years, up to 2040. That's the maturity. So we will continue to have that expenditure annually.
And I want to point out, that's one of the reasons I brought it up, Mr. Vice Chair, is that we do have a fund balance, but we do also have some obligations that we need to pay. These are long-term obligations for the convention center So as far as taking on additional projects, I would just be mindful that we are going to see a reduction in revenue for the remainder of this calendar fiscal year. And so that will have an impact on the available revenues.
Okay, so total available funds, we have about 2.9. Our debt service of 600 and something thousand dollars. is that-
606.
Okay, 606. Is that total debt service for the year, or is that just?
For
That
the
is,
year.
Okay, and when is that due?
that matures in 2040.
No,
And
No,
we can expect
no,
around
we-
606 annually to pay.
But when do we pay it?
You pay it I believe it's August 15th.
Okay, so that's 600 grand coming up that we're gonna have to pay out in August.
That
Yes,
is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so, if we don't spend anything, we've got about almost 3 years worth of, no, 4, actually, 4 years worth of money
debt
to pay
payment, right.
that, if nothing else comes in.
If nothing else comes in, that's correct.
Okay.
And, we will see a slowdown in the revenues coming in, probably through the calendar of the year, not just the fiscal year. Our fiscal year ends in September, but probably through the calendar year. It's going to be an estimate at this point. We don't really know what the impact's going to be. We did see a reduction this past month. The allocation was -3%. So we're pretty certain that's going to climb. That's going to be much higher than that in the negative.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Now, is our commitments to the destination park, that's included in that 600, or do we have?
No, there's no debt service in the destination park. What the board decided to do on that project was do cash on hand.
Okay,
So there is no debt service on that.
that's right, okay.
Does anybody have any other questions on the financial report? Okay, not hearing anything, I'll ask for, we get a,
Up there, somewhere on there, it should say something.
Okay, I'm seeing Gabe, says talk Jesse.
Yeah, we can hear you, Jesse. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
can't see you, but we can hear. Jesse, I was subbing for you today. We're looking for a motion to approve the financial report.
Unless Jesse has anything, I
Sorry, I
know
lost you.
we accept the report as.
I'm seeing me on the little camera on the top. Victor?
We see you now.
We can hear you, Jesse. We can see you also.
Record? No, that's record. The button would be right in the bottom.
Second motion.
I don't know, he can hear us.
So
I
We
think
got a
I'm on the
mo-
window,
we got a motion and a
but I don't, the audio's not back in. Chat, you can hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I think we did get a motion, Dan. I did hear a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. This is Gina.
Hey guys, hello.
So
We have a motion.
motion.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, number 3 on the agenda today is a presentation by the city staff regarding a possible project to fund Wi-Fi hotspots throughout the city for businesses and residents.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. I think Chairman Robles, Gabe, we need to call him, or Sergio needs to call him and walk him through it, please.
Dan, he just has to turn on his audio. He can see you, he can hear you, but we can't
Can you
hear.
hear
I
me,
mean, he
Victor?
can't hear us. He can't hear us. He can speak, but he can't
So I
hear
can't
us.
hear you.
Okay. So,
I see myself in the corner, but that's it. Can't hear a word.
Mr. Vice Chair, board member at ISA called me and asked that we could put an item on the agenda to discuss this, the Wi-Fi, citywide Wi-Fi.
So sorry.
So we put it on the agenda. I know that the city staff is
Sure,
talking
Victor.
to the school district staff.
Yes,
I'm trying to set something up.
volume.
Yes.
I've got pushed all the way up to 100. Oh, I know what's going on. How's that? Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
You can't hear them.
I can hear you. I can hear you through my little speaker, but I can't hear them. I have an external, this speaker is really low, so I connected an external speaker so I could hear the meeting better. That's not creating a problem, is it?
Can Sergio maybe call in and establish a connection?
Okay, thank you.
It should be okay.
Okay, do we continue, Mr. Vice Chair?
No, I think he can hear us, Dan, so. I think he can hear us, Dan, so. Why don't we continue? Why don't we continue?
Okay, so Sergio, can you go ahead and make a presentation?
Yeah, we need to mute his Jesse. Mike.
Go ahead and mute it.
Hello? Okay. I think that cleared it. Oh, clear. Okay, we had a.
Sounds good.
Okay, we had a preliminary meeting with the school district, and I attended to that one. We're in the very early stages of coming up with this project. There's two local vendors from city, and these are some of the notes that we still need to clear as far as for this project. It's a big project. We still have to determine the coverage area, some of the parameters. If the Wi-Fi is going to be filtered, to what extent. On network, is this Wi-Fi hotspots are going to be connected? Is going to be in the school district, the city, or a mixture? And then we need to prioritize and see how many phases this project is gonna be designed or implemented. So there's quite a few things that need to be clear before we have and then once we have those questions answered, we need to probably allow the different vendors do their presentation with the different options. So this is in the very early stages project. It's a good project though.
When did this project come up? I mean, when was it discussed initially?
So with the school board, I'm sorry, not the school board, but with the school district?
Yes.
So we've been talking about this project for some time now. And it came up again because of the COVID-19, where the schools closed and a lot of our school kids don't have access to Wi-Fi within their respective homes. And so we're trying to figure out a way, is there a way that we could expedite this process and get this going so that everyone could have access? There's a lot of legwork, as Sergio just pointed out, before you can get to in a position where you can even go out for requests for proposals from vendors and to even solicit a cost. So right now it's all preliminary and there's a lot of legwork to be done before we can get into a position of moving forward. Beyond that, in order to use it 4B funds, there is a process that has to be followed in order to consider to use any 4B funds for any project. There's a public notification period. There's a lot of legal requirements that we have to meet. I think the item on the agenda is for informational purposes only. We just wanted some direction from the 4B board. Is this something that the 4B board would want to pursue? We don't have a cost. I wish we did. We have not gone that far. We have some guesstimates, but they're only guesstimates, and I hate to put them in the record. So that's where we're at. And board member at ICE had asked that we put an item on the agenda. I don't know if he has anything to add to what I just said.
Well, it's spot on to what you're saying, City Manager said. Now, I was interested. Unfortunately, we're at a phase of new turning points. The dilemma concerning parents, students, and just general citizens having the opportunity. Right now, we're at a shut-in phase, and I feel for all those families that cannot receive the communication that some of us have the benefit to. Now, I was thinking what would be beneficial for the citizens as well as businesses. I read up on different posts and presenting a Wi-Fi avenue for the parents or anything else that can help them out. Doesn't have to be this, but anything else. Naturally, I hear from students not being able to do some of their assignments on the Wi-Fi, but it's more than just that, and that's important. But it's more than that. I like the legwork and I appreciate the legwork that the city has started. The legwork that the communication between the district and the city. So yes, it takes a little bit of time. I just wanted to throw this out to get the legwork started. And of course, hearing our financial statements, it is difficult to start a new project. But quite frankly, some of the things, I want to make sure that we do what's right for the citizens of Harlingen. That's the bottom line. And being able to have Wi-Fi access would be beneficial. I'm not interested in taking the middleman, the providers out of business either. So when I asked to place this on the board, I was simply asking for a certain number of hours per day, not 24-hour service, not a whole thing in terms of capacity. Maybe start something small in terms of different city buildings to be able to offer the Wi-Fi. Now we still have current situations that they're shut in and so forth. So again, I just wanted to present this. If there's other projects that would be beneficial, given the scenario at hand, I'm open ears for that. But I just wanted to start this, and I come back to the appreciation that some of the legwork, we don't have the final estimate, but at least the communication between the city, the district, and the businesses is beneficial. Really just that.
And I would tell you, as a city, that we see the benefit in having citywide Wi-Fi. We've looked at this many years in the past when Charlie Kidder was here as our IT person.
Yeah,
the cost was pretty high, and so we never moved forward with it. And we're talking about it again. There obviously is a need. We just need to get to a point where we know what those costs are, and we know what's included in that project. I mean, it sounds to me like we're going to have either towers or something set up throughout the city to make this work. So what does that look like as far as the infrastructure, and what does it look like as far as cost?
Yeah.
So that we can bring back some good information for the board to make an informed decision. I don't think we're there yet, but we are working towards that, and we will bring it back.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, has the school district done any work on this?
Can I jump in real quick? So I teach at the college in Brownsville, and we got a notice from the president that AT&T, Spectrum, and VTX are offering free internet to the students that don't have internet at home. They just need to contact them. The ones that and some of them might have a low cost for a period of time while we're going through this coronavirus deal. Also, the Harlingen CISD is they're not advertising it, but if the parents call the school, they can get a hotspot device that they can check out while they're going through this phase right now. Yeah. But the parents need to contact the school district and let them know that they need a hotspot device so their children can do their assignments.
Yeah, I forward that information to the group at the school district. That information from the Spectrum. The Spectrum has that promotion also where they give 30 to 60 days or 90 days of free internet.
Yes.
Just calling. So there's deals like that right now going on, and I forward the link information.
So we did follow up, and Sergio sent me a copy of that information. Commissioner, thank you for bringing that up. We did send it over to the school district. I believe that they did send out some of those notices to the students. But I think citywide Wi-Fi beyond the 90-day period is something that I think would benefit our city in general, and not just the students, but in general. And it's something that I've been interested in for many years, and I know the commission has been interested in. So now that we started doing the legwork, and now that we're on this topic again, I think I would like our IT folks to continue to pursue this in partnership with the school district and see what we can do together.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Coming back to the portion about AT&T or any of those providers, it was brought to me by some of the parents at the service indicating that they were expected to sign a contract that upon the 60 days, then they'll have to pay the internet fee after that. So I didn't follow up on that, but that's just some parents indicating to me. So it's not a true 30-day internet or 60-day internet during that, but I do appreciate the legwork that's been done so far. I don't know, me personally, I don't know what the district has provided or reached out to the city about that. I'm just looking at trying to be as part of the board. What can we do as a board to facilitate during this unfortunate situation that we're in? It could happen again. We have extended a power outage, and so the free Wi-Fi may be beneficial during those times concerning that. So that's the only reason I brought it up.
Well, and so if there's interest from the board, where there's interest on the city side, there's interest on our side. So we're going to continue to pursue that. Yeah. And if you want, we can always add it onto a future agenda and bring it back.
May I make a quick comment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
When I was in,
I apologize. I'm used to running the staff meetings in the morning this way, and so my apologies.
No, I raised my hand. I was being very quiet. When I was in Seattle for the National League of Cities a couple of years ago, Spectrum had already started this rollout that Commissioner De La Rosa alluded to, where a family can apply, and based on need, a either free or reduced bill is available, because they understand that. The other thing that I've noticed is that some of the cities that they have, I'm going to put quotations, free Wi-Fi or citywide Wi-Fi, isn't really citywide, and it isn't really free. And again, that's on a need basis. I know like Rancho Viejo had, I don't know if they still have Wi-Fi, but it was included in their water bill. And so, and they had to sign up, and it only gave them access to one device. So I know what Dan is talking about, or Commissioner Riza is talking about, as far as trying to do something now. I don't know if there's enough time, Dan, but I think, I've been a commissioner for 7 years, and for 7 years I've been going, so when is this finally going to happen? And I think it's going to be more than just us and the school district. I think we need to partner up with Spectrum, AT&T. I know Spectrum currently is putting out hotspots in businesses, and they give you a certain time limit to be able to use it for free. But I think we need to get real creative here on how we can do it, because some people think that free Wi-Fi is free inside your home. Most of the places that I see the free Wi-Fi, for example, we'll have it in parks, we'll have it around City Hall, city-owned facilities where people can go get their iPads out, get online. So there's a lot to cover here, because to cover the entire city would be, there's just no way we can do it. I'll shut up.
Do I need to make a motion indicating that we continue with
no.
that, or y'all going to do it on your own?
No, sir. This is a presentation only. It's not an action item.
Okay.
We cannot take any action on this one.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So Dan, did you get a chance to hear what you needed to hear to continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll continue to pursue this as something that I know that there's interest in, and so we're going to continue to work on it. And said we'll have it all done by tomorrow afternoon. Just joking.
Sure. No pressure.
So to defend Sergio, in the IT business, we always say it'll be done on Friday. We're just not saying which Friday.
Just don't pick which one.
Yeah, no, we'll continue on with this project, look at the different options, see which is the best way. I know for my department, we'll provide free internet at the new destination park. So that park will have free internet when it opens. I mean, to a certain extent, I mean, it'll be a filter internet with a disclaimer page at the beginning and only from certain hours. It's not gonna be like 24/7. But
How's that? Is that better?
Isn't the
Can you hear
plan?
me?
Now we can hear you, sir. Now we can hear you.
Okay, any other comments, questions? That was actually a pretty good segment into item number 4. Item number 4 on our agenda is a status report on the following projects. Destination Park.
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn it over to Carlos, and I think he's gonna share the screen with y'all.
Hey, Dan, this is Jesse.
Yeah, we can hear you,
You hear
Jesse.
me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, listen, this,
You cut off, sir.
Go ahead and unmute Jesse Robles, Sergio.
Let me call him.
Sergio, can you unmute Jesse, please?
you said the speaker. Yeah, but I had already done that.
We can hear him now.
All right. Okay, is that okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
All right. Well, I mean, just a quick comment because I'm not sure I even understand the magnitude of this project. I know that back in the day when we were going through leadership partners in the first the charter class, the first class, we talked about this, and you know, I thought to myself, what a cool idea, you know, to be able to provide something like this for the community. I mean, kind of leading edge kind of thing is my thought then. But at this point, the first thing that crosses my mind is I like the idea of partnerships, obviously, because how I see us being able to maybe put out something that is effective or that our contribution would be meaningful, because obviously we couldn't carry the whole boat. Of course, I say that not really knowing what the total cost is on something like this. So I'm okay to learn more, but if we're looking for partnerships, I heard Spectrum, AT&T, the school. I don't know about PSTC, but if any other small colleges that might benefit from this, maybe they have the means or the funds to be able to join the partnership, and then it would be great, for us to have something like that. But right now, a big concern is what's going to be the load on 4B, because we're still not sure where we sit on the conference center, and obviously we're still in the project of the park, and I just want to be able to have impact on what we're doing, and so. Like I said, it isn't new as an idea, and I like it. So I just want to make that comment, and then we can follow up some more later. And in any case, I appreciate the opportunity to make the comment.
Yes, sir. At this point, we're fact finding. We're simply doing some legwork, and that's all we're doing. We're not pursuing any proposals from anyone. So we're just looking for partnerships. But I think first, before we move towards any direction on costs or infrastructure, we need to get an idea of what we're looking at, and we don't have that information just yet.
Okay, any other comments before we move over to the destination park?
Yeah, sorry, Paul. Real quick, I just want to make sure, looking at this to bring back, we got to figure out how to with the expense. Quality of life, it's got to fit in that category. And it's a great idea, but if it doesn't fit, got to make sure we get our bases covered.
Understood. Understood.
Okay, are we ready for item number 4?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Carlos, it's all yours.
Sir, Javier did a great job putting this PowerPoint together. He's gonna make the presentation if that's okay with everyone. Javier?
Perfect.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm glad to give everybody an update on where we're at on the project. With the COVID-19, we had some issues, but I think we've worked through them. But first of all, we just want to kind of go through the progress, some of the things that we've done so far. The contractor is about 30% complete on the project. There are about 68 work days that he's been out on the project out of the 225 contract days. Like I said, he's had some issues trying to get material, trying to get some of the workers out to work, but we're trying to get a conference call with the contractor, the architect, and the city to see how we deal with those issues. So contractor's been paid out $682,111 to date. Of course, if you all recall, the contract was for $3,374,000. So the project, some of these items are kind of significant items, right, that they've done so far. And so these are the kind of things I wanted to touch on, was like the sidewalk, they're about 60% poured. The majority of the foundations have already been poured, the restrooms, the large pavilions, and then they're working on the entryway. The restroom roof framing is being constructed right now. They got the framework up, and so they're going to start laying the decking, and then they'll come back with the final roofing material. The parking lots, they're working on the base material on some of them. And so the parking lot that's on the east side of the Casa Amistad, they've already poured the curbing. They brought in select fill for the landscaping. Right now, they're trenching in some of the areas to get power and irrigation to those islands. The spray park or spray feature is also being constructed. And of course, they're waiting for some of the material to come in. We did sign a donation agreement with AEP. And so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be donating the electrical fixtures or lighting fixtures that are in the park to the city. And so we want to move on that quickly. The estimated completion date of this project, according to contract, is November 13th, 2020. But because of the COVID, we're not sure what's going to happen, if it may go over, but we'll work through that. Like I mentioned, the COVID-19 is slowing down the project. They're having a difficult time getting laborers to come in, because what they do is they carpool, right? And so they're limiting them to 2 people per vehicle. And so a lot of them don't have transportation down here. And so it's slowing it down a little bit. Then the relocation of some service, electrical service from AEP is also slowing down. It's not slowing down the big picture or the big project, right? But it's slowing down the work on the parking lot. And so we're trying to work through that with AEP as well. This is a picture, of course, of the front that we've been using for our I don't want to say promotional, but whatever we put up and whatever we're showing. These are some of the pictures of the construction going on. These were taken with drone video. As you can see, the one on the left, that's the entryway, and then that gazebo is going up. And you'll see the orange fencing around the trees. And what we did was, part of the project, we had to protect all the trees. What they did was they had an arborist come in, they trimmed all the trees back before any work got started, and then they fenced them. So they put construction fencing around all the trees that to keep them from getting damaged. The one on the right, of course, shows another view aerial view, and it's a small pavilion. And you can see the restroom just to the left, bottom left, part of that between the playground. Now that project there is not part of the scope of work with Peacock, but it's another project that we're completing. We're almost done with that one. And so this one will mirror the other restroom that we're building on the site, so it'll be uniform. The other improvements up on the top left, there's a spray feature. You can see where that's the where I had the arrow. That's the canopy or the pergola that's going in, and then off to the right is where this actual spray feature is going to be. And then further down, you got the small pavilions going in, and then the restroom I was telling you about earlier. The roofing is going in. And then the bottom photo shows where the large pavilion is. And the food truck parking. And this is another view, aerial view of it. And so you can see the tree protection again. Another view of where the large pavilion is going. And then off to the right are the parking lots. So the top one is parking lot A, that's behind the clinic. They've already installed the subway and material, and they also have brought in some topsoil. So the only thing that we're waiting for there is to remove those electrical poles. Those poles are servicing the clinic, and so we need to remove those so we won't disrupt power to the clinic. And so we're working with AEP to try to coordinate that. The one in the middle is the parking lot B. That's the one that's to the west of the auditorium. And that one we've already cleared out. We removed all our electrical power. Contractors have gone in there and started to clear some of the area and remove some of the soil to bring in some of the base material. And the bottom picture, of course, is parking lot C, and that's the one that where they've already started to install curbing and they brought in topsoil, and they're also trenching for irrigation and electrical service to that parking lot. And that's all we got. Any questions I can try to answer?
So what you're seeing is that you get a sense of the scope of the project. The park is truly going to transform out at Lonsey Hill, and a lot of added parking. We've also executed a joint use agreement with the Boys and Girls Club, and we're working on that to share their parking spaces as well, right next to their Boys and Girls Club on the west-hand side. So we're going to share our spaces, but they're going to share theirs. So that way, when we have events, there'll be a lot of additional parking out there. And we're going to have more and more events in this location with the improvements that we're having.
And just to kind of
be really nice.
Give you all an idea, like Dan is saying, is that, you know, we're adding more parking spaces. So parking lot A, we're adding 68 new parking spaces. And then parking lot B, we'll be adding an additional 51 parking spaces.
Any other questions? Any other questions or comments? Be happy to answer them.
It looks great, guys. Looks great. I've driven by it and seen all the activities, so good progress.
If y'all could tell, you know, the L and L1/2 Street have already been removed. I mean, the asphalt has been removed, and fill material has already been brought in and leveled to the finished grade.
Okay.
Any other comments, concerns, questions?
You wanna take the screen off, Javier? Take the screen off.
Okay. How do we do that?
Up on top. You gotta go on top and take off the screen.
Okay.
Sharing.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you. One of these days, one of these days, we're gonna get this Zoom thing down, I promise.
Anybody have any final comments, concerns, questions for the city?
Yeah, just looking at it, Jesse Robles. My speaker keeps muting constantly and I can't keep it open. So let me be quick about it. Yeah, Javier, great job with what you're doing. And I'm sorry to hear that this pandemic is causing such great strife to our community and our nation. But I know for sure life goes on. But I'm looking at that park, those areas look very impressive. They're the work that's already been done, and you can start getting a bird's eye view of what it all's going to look like. So thank you for that. I got to tell you guys, I didn't understand half of what you said because you kept breaking up. So I'm not sure, if you're even hearing me clearly. But anyway, it's a good try to go with Zoom, and hopefully we can perfect it and do it better next time. Thank you.
We're gonna keep improving, and I know that Sergio and our IT department they've been put kind of in a hot seat. All of a sudden, we have to transform how we do our meetings, and they're working really hard to try to perfect the way we're doing it. And we have glitches. I apologize for those. They're certainly not intended, and we're gonna get better at this.
We'll get there. Okay, without any other comments or questions, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Oh, go ahead, Victor. I'm sorry. Oh, you saying goodbye? We'll do a motion to adjourn. I heard a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yeah, nobody wants to
Okay.
adjourn.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, bye.
Thank you. Bye.